moderating today. I'll be moderating today's session. Before I give the floor to the facilitator, Mr. Kofi, who will be going through today's module, which is the power of the mindset, I would just like to just set some ground rules. Please, when you join, please mute. Make sure your microphone is mute so that you don't interrupt and disrupt the class. Second, an information will be put on the chat box concerning the name, location, email, and contact information. Please, we'll appreciate if you can please fill it out, provide all the information. Your informations are protected. We just need this information to be able to have data on this subject matter or this series. And finally, if you have any questions, please, you can put it in the chat box. And at the end of the presentation by the facilitator, he will respond to all questions. All right, so we'll go straight ahead. I'll introduce Mr. Kofi is the permanent secretary of FOASPS, and he'll be the one facilitating today's session. Mr. Kofi, over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to this session. As Peter announced, today's session is about the power of mindset. It is what we are calling the inaugural session after the launch. This is the inaugural session. It is not really part of the 10 modules of the organizational development webinar series, but it is an introduction to these 10 modules. And very soon I'm going to explain why we thought it was important to have such a session to introduce the whole process. So, Peter, feel free to interrupt me anytime if you want to make any announcement or any reminder.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still having some challenges to move my slides. I hope it will now. Okay, let me try again. Voila. Okay. To start this session, we want to show you the statement that says difficult takes a day. Impossible takes a week. Difficult takes a day and impossible takes a week. So please think of this statement and share any comment that you may have in the chat box. We are not, for the time being, we are not going to make any comment on our side, but if you have any comment, feel free to share your comment in the chat box. Maybe later on, we can consider sharing or having some discussion on this. But I want to proceed to the next slide. What are we talking about when we say mindset? How can we define mindset? We came across some very beautiful definitions, but we decided finally to take this one and work with it by Carol Dweck, who is a Stanford University psychologist and the writer of a book that is called or entitled Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. So it will give you some ring must start ringing in your head when we are referring to such a book, Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. So Carol defined mindset as a set of deeply held, powerful beliefs that shape our perception of ourselves and the world around us. Meaning that when we are talking about the mindset, it is something that is deep within every one of us, and that define, that shape, that condition, that instruct how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive others and the whole world around us. It is a framework for work and life. Okay, so it guides how we operate in the work, in our professions, etc., and in the general life. It can also be seen as the lens from which you view opportunities and our ability to overcome challenges. So you realize that before the same situation, some people may have this kind of uh, they will see maybe challenges, maybe they will be disappointed, frustrated, etc., while other people see within the same situation opportunities. Mindset, said Carol, plays a significant role in our relationship with success and failure. So how do we relate with success and failure? He's saying that here that our mindset plays a significant role. So now somebody may ask, why are we talking about our mindset to start the process of these organizational development webinars? And to respond to that question, we are asking another question: who is the real you? Who
Sorry,
is the real?
sorry, Mr. Kofi.
Yes.
Your slides are not changing. I don't know.
Oh,
We're still on the first slides.
yeah.
I think you need to click on the
Maybe
next.
I need to, let me see what I can. So maybe I need to stop and do it all over again. Let me try another.
Oh, yes.
It now.
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Let me change and see if it works. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yes, thank you.
All right. So I am almost done with this. I'm not going to go back to it. It is not the slide that is important. It is what we are discussing. So let's go to the next one. We are talking about the real you. And to respond to that question, who is the real you? I am telling you that you are not in your brain. You are not your brain. You are not even your physical body. But there is another you who is out of your body. It is what someone will call the divine spirit in you. It is that divine spirit in you that is the real you. Some people who maybe will say that they are not a Christian, they are not a believer, will not like us to talk about divine spirit. So maybe they will say the energy, if you prefer energy, the energy that is within you is the real you. And in the process of this session, you will come to understand why we are affirming those kind of ideas. That other you is connected with the universe. It is also very important that that other you that is not in your body, that is not in your brain, is connected with the universe. And this divine spirit in you interacts with the universe and co-create your achievement as a human being. So some spiritual people will tell you that you are a divine being living in the earth, on the earth, in a human body. You are not a human being, but you are a divine being living in a human body. I'm sure that those declarations are going to create some confusion in some of you. But I'm telling you also that our definition of the real you is based on a couple of teachings. We have many, many teachings, but we selected for the purpose of this session, we selected two teachings that we are going to talk about. The first one is about the reports that we receive over the years on near-death experiences or by near-death experiences. Near-death experience is, I would say, something new because in the past, when you are having a discussion with your friends and somebody is talking about death or the life after life, somebody may ask you, but nobody went there and come back to tell us how it is. So how will we know how it is at the other side? That was usually what we tend to think when we're having this kind of discussion. But now we have experiences who went to that other side and came back and can share with us their experiences. So many people who were subject to near-death experience report that they went through on several occasions and in various places of the planet. So what we are talking about, people who experience those things are over the 5 continents. It is not just in one place, but on the planet, we have a lot of people who experience near death and come back and share their experiences. These reports confirm a convergence of the fact that our inner being is not located in our brain, but elsewhere. In fact, to give some examples, people who experience this situation, maybe they were in the theater where doctors, the medical team are taking care of them. Maybe they are under a surgery, etc., or they got an accident and they are trying to repair him or her body. And in the meantime, the person suddenly get out of the body and the person is at the ceiling, for example, and can watch everything that is happening to her body. Sometimes they even hear all the conversation within the medical team. Then sometimes they leave the theater, they go out and they watch their parents, their wife, their husband, their children who are waiting for the operation to end and to have the result, etc., who were anxious, some were even crying, etc., etc. So they experience this kind of situation. And sometimes they give information that scientifically they could not have been able to possess that information if it is not something, let me say, extraordinary that has happened. For example, somebody was able to tell the medical team what is written under the table of the operation. How never occurred, even to them in the hospital, they didn't know that this thing is written under the table. Okay, so that is why when those kind of situations arise, when medically your brain is supposed to not be operating at that time, then the conclusion is that who or what experienced this is not in the brain, because the brain will not have been in position to do that. This inner being that may be called soul is real and was scientifically confirmed. Even we know the weight of that soul. When we are talking about soul, there has been some experiences that clearly show that the soul weighed 21 grams. How did they do that? When you have a very a scale, a precision scale, where you can take the weight of a body, maybe somebody is sick in the hospital, you take the weight, and immediately after the person die, if you take the weight again, you realize that there is a difference of 21 grams. It has been scientifically demonstrated. This inner being is active every time, present everywhere, but disconnected with our consciousness under normal circumstances. So under normal circumstances, what is happening to this inner being is disconnected with your capacity to hear, to listen, to see, to understand, etc., etc. Only under some specific circumstances or exercises,
Sorry.
you will be able to connect that inner being with your consciousness. For example, through meditation, you can access some of those informations. The second teaching that we are relying on is from this famous speaker, Greg Braden. Greg Braden is an American writer who is well known for his publications linking science and spirituality. To make the story short, through his research and his work, as of today, we know for sure that some of the things that we could call miracle are not necessarily miracle, but it can be demonstrated. So there is a link between science and spirituality. He has published many books, but I want to give you that one, The Divine Matrix, Bringing Time, Space, Miracles, and Belief. So if you come across this book, I encourage you to study, to read it. So Greg Braden promotes the fact that the universe is connected by the space, what he called a vacuum. He has argued that our emotions affect our DNA. Okay, so for example, when you are happy, that affects your DNA. When you are unhappy, it also affects your DNA. When you are frustrated by a situation, it affects your DNA. In that regard, our mental situation can create our potential for success or failure in work and life. So how do we come across when we study Greg Braden and his literature is that if we can position ourselves, if we can create conditions to have, let me call the positive emotions than negative emotions, we are likely to condition ourselves for success than failure. But if we don't have that control and we let some negative emotions take over on our daily life, then we are conditioning ourselves for failure. So after this long introduction, I can now tell you that this session aims at offering an opportunity to revisit our perception of who we are. driving us toward the journey to one, question our old ways of using our potential, and two, creating a constructive attitude and take control of our work and our life. And finally, the session also aims at developing our self-influence capacity. You will realize that because of the external world around us, because of the many information that we receive from the time you are born in this life, your parents, your families, your schools, anywhere, your universities, your brotherhood, your friendship, etc. They give a lot of information that you digest and that influence your whole life. But we are also affirming that we can develop our self-influence capacity, meaning that beside the external influence, we can develop our capacity to influence ourselves. We can decide to condition ourselves. Okay? So these are some of the objectives that we want to address during this session. We are going to move through two main areas to create a powerful mindset. Two areas. One is shifting from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Fixed meaning stationary, growth meaning movement. And we'll come back to that. The second area we are going to explore is about assessing our relationship with success and failure. We need to assess, we need to evaluate our relationship with success and failure, and probably make some critical decision as to how to address maybe our weaknesses and how to focus on our strengths in terms of relationship with success and failure. Peter, do you want to make some announcement now before we go into details?
No, Mr. Kofi, carry on.
Okay, thank you. Are people still putting their names in the chat? I can see only 11, though we are 26
Okay, so
participants.
yes, so please, if you haven't put your name and some of the informations like your position, email, contact details, please do so. We just need it to be able to know exactly who attended and also to be able to send you feedbacks, a post training, a survey. So please fill your name, contact information, email, WhatsApp, position on your organization, please. Thank you. Ms. Kofi can go ahead.
And the age and the gender, I believe, no?
Yes, age and gender should be also included. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take the first one, shifting from fixed mindset to growth mindset. So this is the first exercise I want to invite you for. What is your present mindset alike? So here we have 7 statements, and I hope you have a piece of paper and a pen. So just draw 2 columns, and for every statement, decide whether you believe you are on the left or on the right side. Okay, for example, the first statement is saying, I see setbacks as a failure, left side, an opportunity, right side. Okay, so you just make a check or a cross on one side and you can continue. Don't worry, we are like I said, we will share the PowerPoint presentation with you, with all participants after all. Second statement, Criticism are hurtful for the left side and helpful for the right side. Okay, so what is your mindset? I like. Third statement, when facing obstacles, I give up or I push through. 4, I see others' success as a threat to my goal or as a good for my goal. Threat or good. 5, for me, challenges are worrying or exciting. 6, in terms of transformation, I will wait and see, or I am happy to learn. And 7, in my work, I believe in messy progress, or I believe in perfectionism. So after that comment, do you have a maximum on the left or on the right? As this is a webinar, we will not have time to share our result. I will just tell you that if your maximum are on the left, it may mean that you are on the, I want to call it a failure side, or yeah, a negative side in terms of your mindset at present. If you have the majority on the right side, then probably your mindset is on the progressive side, opportunity, etc., etc. Okay. Now, still, when we are talking about shifting from fixed mindset to growth mindset, we want to take some concrete examples. For example, if you believe that nothing you can do will change the status quo, then you are probably a fixed mindset person. I'm saying probably because I don't want to be too enthusiastic about affirmations. Okay? But if you believe that you can improve your talents, your intelligence, your abilities through some effort, through perseverance, then we can consider that you are probably a growth mindset, or you have probably a growth mindset. So therefore, shifting from fixed to growth mindset is a matter of changing your perception of yourself. Okay? Let me take another example. If you see a kid and at home, her mother always tell him, you are unintelligent. Comment how do you say? Tu es bête. You are useless. Let me say you are useless. Your mother always tells you you are useless. You are useless. This boy, you are useless. You are useless. You are hearing this when you are a child. You may create that condition within you that you are useless. So it will affect your position, and you will probably be on that side of the fixed mindset. If I am useless and I'm hearing this from the beginning of my life, why should I waste my time trying to change anything? Okay, so now we are saying that it is a decision that you have to make to decide that, okay, my mom or somebody was telling me, my teacher maybe, that I'm useless. I want to demonstrate that I'm not useless. I am useful to myself. I am useful to my family. I am useful to my community. I am useful to my nation. I want to become somebody who will have produced concrete achievement that demonstrate that I am not useless, I am useful instead. So one day you can make that decision. So you see, it affects a lot of things in careers, in everything. Some people are, I don't know, maybe they were civil servants for 15 years. And for them, they finish school, they write an application, they got a job, they have a salary, life is good, and that is it. But one day something may happen. I hope from today it can be a starting point for such a person to decide that, well, why should I be a civil servant for my whole life? I want to become a businessman, a businesswoman. I want to start also my own business, etc. Employ other people, etc., etc. So that vision of yourself can change from one position to another. I'm not encouraging anybody to resign, saying that I want to become a businessman. You can continue to be a civil servant, but start your business slowly, slowly, slowly. And when you realize that it is growing, it is performing well, you can decide to resign. So please don't go and say that Kofi said we should resign from our work. Okay? Shifting from fixed mindset to growth mindset, also another exercise, or we are not going to spend too much time on it, but I want to quickly go through this. Take one of these suggestions. Take maybe 2 minutes. Have you a fixed mindset or a growth mindset on any of these aspects of your life? In your professional life, when you look back from where you are coming from till today, do you believe that in your professional life you have been affected by what we are calling the fixed mindset attitude, or are you of a growth mindset attitude? When you take your career development, when you go to your faith belief, your religion, for example, are you the kind of person who, because you are Christian, you are Muslim, you have learned this from the beginning, your parents put you there, and so you don't even want to hear about anything at all? Or are you a curious person? You want to challenge what was your belief? You want to look through, you want to see other perspectives, etc., etc., so that you can determine your own, you can make your own decision, etc. I'm not asking somebody to change his or her religion, but I'm just trying to say that in your religion, you can see if you are a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Another one is the lifespan. Okay, how do you see your lifespan? Social engagement. Those are some of the things. Social engagement. Do you believe that life is what it is? Everybody is fighting, so period. Or are you the kind of person who believes that if you have a small for yourself, you can help others to also grow, to develop, to have some facilities, etc., etc.? Do you believe that no matter your position, your situation now, you can be helpful to somebody? That is where we start from when we are talking about social engagement. Then you can be member of an association, you can be working on a voluntary basis to be doing various things, etc., etc. Teaching. Teaching is another aspect of it. Do you believe that you can help the youngest to also grow by or through your teaching, your training, your coaching of young people, development of youth is another one. Publishing is another one that I want to end with. The question we always have, we always ask people and ourselves as well. After maybe 30 years of career, 30-year experience, did you publish any book? Did you share your experience through a literature that somebody can take, read through, and even develop her own capacity? Those are some of the things. If you believe that, oh well, me, I'm not a good writer, so I don't think that I should be writing any book. Fixed mindset or growth mindset. Do you believe that you are or not gifted for this? Okay. Anything that you take, if you believe I'm not gifted for it, then period. Music, I'm not gifted for it. You haven't tried at all, but you just make your mind that you are not gifted. You don't have the talent to be a musician. Have you tried at all? Okay. So these are some of the things that we want to talk about when we are talking about shifting from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Now we want to move to the second avenue, assessing our relationship with success and failure. This is something that relates to our attitude, belief, action, but mostly to our words. Yes, I've said before that our emotions are important and influence our DNA through the Greg Braden teachings. But here we are coming back to our words, okay? And we are saying that they are also very, very important because a word that is pronounced, especially in a situation, whether happiness or sadness, will carry that kind of energy that will go to the universe and do the work that you have assigned to that world when you send it to the universe. Okay? Sometimes it is deliberate and sometimes it is not. If you are the kind of person you always say, I'm not lucky, or me, I'm not lucky. I never play lotto because I'm not lucky. Well, maybe you are just saying it, not knowing that, saying that I'm not lucky. Maybe you are referring to lotto, but you forget that being lucky or not is not only for lotto. Being lucky is something that can help you to find a good job. Being lucky can also help you to have some opportunities. But if you are claiming every day that I'm not lucky, I'm not lucky, I'm not lucky, then that word that you are pronouncing with the conviction within you that you are not a lucky person, the word will go with the energy and create that situation of unlucky or unluckiness. I don't know if my English is correct. So please let us pay attention to that. For example, do you believe that it is super good to be very rich? Do you believe that it is good to be rich, very rich? Do you dream of becoming a billionaire? Do you believe that money is the source of too much troubles? Some people are like that, oh. They believe that, oh, having too much money, or me, I don't want. I just need what I need to have my food on a daily basis, period. Okay? Because they believe that if you have too much money, it creates too much problem. Thieves will come and visit you overnight, etc., etc. So they make their mind that being rich is not good. Money is a troublemaker. What is your appreciation of rich people? When you see somebody driving a beautiful car, do you think, oh yeah, these are the people, the drug healers? Do you think that somebody who is passing with a beautiful car uh, is probably a drug healer? Or do you admire that person saying that, wow, I would also want to be rich and own such a car? So this is what we are talking about. The word that we are pronouncing are carrying energies that create some conditions that affect us. It seems that you cannot be rich if you don't steal. or sell unauthorized goods, arms, hard drug, etc., etc.? Are you the kind of person who think that you cannot be rich if you are not a bad boy, a bad girl? So let us pay attention to that. Now we want to finish with this message that I believe will make you reassess your inner belief about yourself, and that will rearticulate your mindset. Are you a winner or a loser? Remember this event of your first winning race. You were among the 5,000 sperms that were released to run the marathon into the uterotubal junction. Some competitors resigned, some died. You were among the only 1,000 of these sperms to reach the inside of the fallopian tube. There was a hustle to push down competitors, but you were among the only 200 of the thousands to reach the egg. Were there boxing, karate, who knows? In the end, you were the only winning sperm out of this group of 200 that actually penetrates and fertilizes the egg. So think of this. We are telling you that you are a champion. Are you aware that you are being conceived as a champion? So ultimately, you cannot be a loser in this life, because to become a human being or to become this divine spirit that I spoke about, to take a human body to come to this earth and experience the earth, you have been conceived as a champion. So this is what we wanted to share with you this morning. If you have any question, any comment, any contribution, please write in the chat box and we will respond to your questions or comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kofi, for that. It has been a very impactful session, especially for me, in particular, the last slide. I think that's very special to know that right from day one, I'm already a champion, depending on how I look at it. So yes, I don't know if we have any questions. I don't see any questions in the chat box. I don't know, Mr. Kofi, if we should give opportunity for anyone who wants to have, since we have about 15 minutes left, to anyone who wants to have has a question or want to make a comment or contribution, probably you can just put your hands up and we'll allow you, give you the floor to have a question or
Shall
a
I
comment.
share my screen now?
Yes, you can. Thank you, sir.
So
So is
that
there anyone? You can just raise your hands and we'll give the floor to you. Okay, I see somebody, Momolu Johnson. Okay, so Momolu, is there
Dr.
anybody
Momolu is
else?
the current president of the Liberia Federation.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kofi. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for that elaborate presentation. I just have a concern, and it's not a question. I was thinking that at the end of every session, whether whether you guys can share the presentation with us in our individual emails so that when we are alone during the weekdays, we can go through them. Thank you.
Okay, yes, President Momolu, we promised to do that. I believe that after the first launch session, I believe, maybe Francis will correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that it has not been done because of the many things that we are involved in to put in place the system. But the promise is to share the PowerPoint presentation with you, and also even the video of the session will be released on the GLN platform. So trust us, we will do that anyway. So Francis, maybe if it has been done on the GLN, maybe Francis will confirm that to us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, President and Mr. Kofi. Is there anybody else that has a question, contribution, a comment? You just raise your hand and give the floor to you. Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So as promised, we promise we'll
Is
keep
Francis
this.
in the room? No, I can't see him. But oh, he was there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Francis, I was asking if the sharing of the last session PowerPoint and the video is available or not, if they are available or not. Not yet. Okay.
Not
He
yet.
is not yet
Good.
available. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we will make sure that we will keep our promise.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't see any hands up. So I'm sure that everyone is okay with following this training. As we share the presentation and the video, we'll also share a Google form just to do an evaluation of the session. So please endeavor to. It's a short survey. Just fill it and send back. And for those who haven't put in their informations, names, you can do that before we wrap up today's session. We promise that we'll keep this session in the hour, within 1 hour, so that we can get back to our schedules. So I would like to thank everyone for joining, for participating, for joining early. And before I close, I will give the floor back to Mr. Kofi to give the last words before we close today's session.
Okay, no, I think that I've said it all. As the introduction, I said in the introduction, our intention here is to create a condition for us to be successful in the process of this webinar series when we are involving ourselves to the various modules of organizational development. You will realize that there are a lot of information that we are going to share with you over the next 3 months. And if you are not conditioned by this mindset of success and achievements, you may not take the full advantage of the program. So I will encourage you to be with us and to continue sharing the information with your colleagues, with other people to join us, because this is what FOASPS aims to do, to be a place where people can really share and learn, bring their competencies, their expertise, but also learn from others. So we want to learn from each other. And so thank you for your confidence and your trust in the permanent secretariat team. Over. Peter? Peter, you are muted then.
All right. So thank you, everyone. Okay. Sorry, but the internet cut me off. So thank you everyone for joining. So we'll be having the same session next week, same time. So we'll see you then. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Bye.
Bye-bye.